we're out there trying to teach people through these classes here, try to share information and help you understand what it takes to get on the web, and as well as what internet marketing really is, what it should cost you, how it should help you out, how to avoid being scammed, because there's a lot of scams out there. So we really take a lot of pride in that. We're also the only company that has that Better Business Bureau and Chamber of Commerce connection, and we're an SEO company that's actually honest. And you'll find that out as you get to know us too. So I can say that, but for you guys to find out later on, you'll see that we believe the truth will set you free. We want to help a lot of people by telling you what's out there and just being honest about it. That's about it. So I'd like to get to know you guys a little bit. If it's okay if I can have you guys just tell me your name and a little bit what you do. Start with why you're snacking away. Okay, we'll
yes,
go
my
left.
name is Otilia and my husband Lucia. We are with Aristocrat Concierge, residential concierge. We offer all kinds of services for residentials.
Nice. Welcome, welcome. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, I'm Cindy Chappell. I run a few different businesses. My husband and I mainly run a pool league. And
Pool league?
A pool league. Kind of like a bowling league, but you play
got a
pool.
pool table? What?
And we started that in 2007, and when we did, I also got into web design. So I have my education at UNLV, and then we also run a billiard company, Chapel Billiards, and then I do a little bit of web design. Mostly, I only do the web design for myself, for my companies. So.
It's fun to do. It's definitely an art. We got some running rebels here too. A couple of graduates here.
Yeah.
Great. With Nick, why don't you tell us?
Sure. My name is Nick. I do pay-per-click SEO websites as well, and Steve and I are talking about doing some projects together, like pay-per-click and social media.
Very sharp guy. We're going to partner up and offer some of our services. So we try to make sure that if we don't offer the service you're looking for, at least we refer you to someone who's very qualified, not out there lost trying to find out for yourself.
My name is Amy Keener. I started my Eagle Point, which is a website I haven't developed yet. But it's a fashion-based kind of referral website. So we'll see it when it's out.
There you go.
It's up and going.
All right. Let's go back here.
My name is Danny. Looking to start up a website that's targeting motivated sellers.
All right. Definitely must.
Yeah, John here. I work at an IT managed services. I'm a business developer over there, and I want to move over and start my own business in a couple areas and form alliance with other individuals here. So I'm just looking at different options and localization and trying to get first page of the big three, and look at moving over the mobile platform a little bit.
Mobile?
Testing some Facebook and Twitter, and then try to set up a portal and do sales and marketing consulting for people and kind of bounce around affiliation some, looking at different areas and find again. I've got a friend of mine here she's just doing really good with organic makeup, and oh my goodness, just trying to find that niche, because I see so many individuals jump out there. Yeah, we got an online marketing strategy, business plan going, but they don't really get any momentum, or make revenue. I really want to sharpen my pencil this go around,
That's a good idea. I mean, the only way you can find out is by attending seminars and reading books and listening to forums and continually upgrading yourself, or updating yourself, so to speak. So that's good.
Yeah, make sure the business model makes it, because I was with one that just failed after $120,000. It was a good situation. It just didn't make it, So.
Oh, by the way, end of the seminar, feel free to ask questions. We'll have a nice little Q&A too, so we'll go some more detail.
I'm Jolie Rambis. I do the community liaison for Eastern County Dental. I just recently started there, and we definitely have a need of doing for social media, getting out there and trying to promote the practice.
All right,
And I also have my own personal side business, which is a health supplement. So I'm looking to do some more of that.
Awesome. We'll talk about social media a little bit. Some people like to do social media and they're not sure how they should go about it. And sometimes they're not sure what other options are as well. So we'll tell you more of the general options of internet marketing, and let's see if we can fine tune what you really need.
Okay. And my name is John Ferraro. I'm with Vegas Only Roses. I found my niche, but I have to get in the 21st century. I have to market because I never advertised for 40 years.
Really?
Until about 3 years ago when now I better get on the ball.
So roses like
Just long-term roses. That's it. I've been doing it in this town for over 20 years.
So you got manufacturing, delivering down, but now smoking.
Just- Yeah, I just, when things got bad, all the hotels started backing out and started being internal and ended up losing everything. So I still have good customers, but have to learn to advertise.
And
I never believed it, but I think it's the way to go now.
That's true. And the words of such a career. A friend of mine who went to career design, it's adaptation and collaboration. You know, you gotta adapt, you gotta collaborate. So you gotta change with the times, and you gotta find people that can help you in your circle. That's what it's all about.
Hi, everybody. The scallops were great, and it's a great pleasure to be here. My name's Kevin Wagner. I'm just kind of an entrepreneur. I've got my hands in a lot of things. I've been a floor trader at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange for years, and I'm a video producer, and I've been involved in Las Vegas real estate for over a decade. The thing that was compelling me to come to this event, I spotted it 2 days ago, is that technology has been leveled so that we can all play the game now. You know, 10 years ago I had to have a $250,000 studio to create videos that had impact and could make it on television. Now anybody with creativity that can capture and engage someone's attention is going to get an opportunity. And so I'm here to learn a little bit more about social media, how people are creating the awareness part of the game. And hopefully you'll all see my meetup. I've had a video production meetup. We've helped a lot of people with that aspect of creating quality content. And it's just Las Vegas Videography Meetup. We have meetings every month, but it's always great to to give a little and to learn new ideas. And so I'm here to do both. So
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that. Raise your hands if you came from meetup.com. I'm just curious. Oh, quite a few. Okay, so we know meetup.com works. You can check that out. We're experimenting every time we do a seminar. We test different methods. That's how you become good at the game too. You don't just blindly throw money at things or try things out. You test things out. So we want to see if the Chamber Connection, would pull us some people. And actually, meetup.com is very, very effective. So we know that helped out really good. I'm sorry, man. Just happened to walk in. My name is Steve Kim, and this is Media One Pro. We're sponsoring the event. We're a design and marketing company. We just went around and kind of mentioned our name, what we did for a little bit. So,
I'm Alexandria. I write mostly like copywriting. I've had some experience with like search engine optimization and stuff like that, and I don't know. I think I understand more than I can actually do the technical end of it. So.
Okay, we'll hope to definitely share some information with you and walk out with you. It's a little quieter. Okay, so let's begin here. My remote control broke, so Ruth is my remote control. She would press the button for me. We're just going to start off with how do you get a website? Now, how many of you guys have a website? Raise your hand. Okay, then raise your hand if you really, really like it and you're fine with it. Yeah. All right, good, okay. Well, that's great that you're happy with it. I think half of you didn't raise your hands because a website in general is never done. It always evolves.
Oh.
And that's because technology changes. Suddenly the iPad and the iPhone doesn't support Adobe, so now you have to come out with HTML5. New browsers come out, new technology comes out, and your website doesn't come out the same. So it's always important to adapt and to know what's coming up and making sure it's compatible. But first of all, how do you get a website? We'll go through it real quickly because I think some of you do know how it's done. But let's start with the first slide. Ruth? You can hire a freelancer. Freelancer is anyone. It could be your friend, a student, someone off Craigslist. Go ahead again. There we go. Someone has a son who does web design. Now, we've heard this before. So it's like, oh great, I can do web design. And then this guy decides to build your website. It may take 3 months to a year, but then, Ruth, how about I have you might have something beautiful like this. This is something you might see. So I'm sure you've all seen that. It's always fun. Sometimes my friends and I have a few beers and we like go on the internet and make fun of the websites. Like it? Next one. Oh, it gets better and better. So, as you know, when you see a poor website, you know exactly what it's about. It's a mess. You always go to the next one. You have to make sure when you make a website that you are trying to keep it as simple as possible. You want it visually appealing, but you want your message to get across. Who you are, what you're about, some call to action. People don't want to waste time. They have 5 to 8 seconds to make a choice. You make sure your website gets them there. Next. So there's do-it-yourself. Who's done it yourself? Okay. So did you guys use Dreamweaver or did you use some kind of a third-party software like
Various programs.
those programs? Yeah. How's it going? Is it fun?
You want to show my website?
Okay. Well, I'm sure it's great. Most experiences though, it's been more like this one right here. Now, when you get a template type of site, it's pretty basic. You know, you get a choice of navigation. You have your text, you have your logo, but not too impressive. If you're a company and you want to do well, you want to make sure you're represented well. It is a first impression that matters. People will judge you upon your website within seconds. You could have the best company, you could have the best services, you could be the best at what you have, but if you have a website that looks like it's amateur and cheap, then you're judged as being amateur and cheap. So this is where you want to make sure that your image is conveyed on the website. Second thing you do, third thing, hire a professional, like us for example. You can use many professional web designers out there, but when you do get a professional, you get something a little better. Maybe you get like a nice slideshow. Maybe you have some embedded videos. You have a dynamic website where you can change things on the back end, like maybe the testimonials or some articles, and that displays automatically. That's called a content management system. It's driven by a database. It's what people use now. It's not the static website is a website that's you do by hand. You change the code and you upload the files. That's really old school. Now we have content management system where you can log in from anywhere, either your iPad or your iPhone, at any time, and make changes to your website. That's very important for marketing purposes. You want to update your site. I'm going to give you a little tip. When it comes to marketing and search engines, you can't have a stale website. That means a website that doesn't change. If you keep your website the same, Google will index it, sees that no changes have been made, and that considers that pretty boring, pretty stale, you're not really up to date. So you do want to change your content. You do want to add content. So you want to continually do that, and the easiest way is with the content management system. So when it comes to websites, first impressions matter the most. If the customer is not impressed within the first 8 seconds, they move on to the next. And that's a long time. Usually, I'm sure you guys look at the website, within 3 seconds, the next one. Okay, so any questions about web design? I want to go through that quick because it's usually a simple topic. Anything about web design you guys may have a question on?
How about editing your website? You have, on the site, there's old employees and stuff on there. Often I try to contact the former company that designed it, and I'm not getting any response.
This is a common thing I hear all the time. We have a website, we can't make changes because the web designer, he disappeared, he's hard to get a hold of, he's just not very professional. And when you do get a hold of him, he charges you up to yin-yang to make a small little teeny change. So, when you have a...
Why would you do it for free?
What's that?
Why would you do it for free?
Well, you don't want to do it for free, but how about you do it for free?
Yeah, no, yeah.
How about the owner of the website go on
Everybody's
there
charging
and
you.
log in, and she can make changes. We're a business
And you
that
mix
believes-
up everything, come on, we did that. When you do it, you mix up everything, it's everything so
Oh, no, okay,
complicated.
okay, I get what you're talking about. I'm not talking about changing the design of the website. I'm talking about content. Like, let's say you want to, if you go back a little bit, go back, okay, let's say you just want to change something here. You found a misspelling, right? And you go, wait a minute, we got to change the spelling on this. Do you think it's fair to pay someone $45 to go in there in 2 seconds and make a change? Well, of course, the business is going to charge you because that's their business. But at the same time, what are they really doing? They're doing a very small, minor thing. When we build websites, we build them on a content management system. The platform we use is called WordPress. It's the most common platform there is. Very simple to go in there through the back panel, in which you log in with your admin and password. You go to the page and you change it. It's like Microsoft Word. It's very visual, very easy. You make the change, you hit update, and your website's changed. That's Web 2.0, that's what you have to have. There's really no need for a static website these days. Maybe a landing page, but static is old school. You want to have a content management system, bottom line, for all small businesses. So that's, hope that answers your questions.
It does.
Yeah.
Nobody knows a lot
A lot
So
of,
that's
yeah. And what we end up doing a lot of times is redoing websites. If it's a 5-10 pager, there's no sense in updating an old school static page website. We'll just put the whole thing on different WordPress and then add a nice theme and just copy and paste information. And then you're boom, you're up to date.
Okay, you said you need to update, change, and add content in the website. So this is the website. What would I need to do so Google recognize me? Because
You want to
you
keep
said
your
it's still.
you want to keep your information fresh. If you just leave the website alone for months and months
Okay,
and
so
months,
just go on your website and tell me what are the small, let's say, small changes.
but it's
that
not
I'll
about
do.
just the sections on there. I mean, you can have pages of information that change. You know, as long as there's some change. I recommend having a blog or having some kind of section where it's news or something that changes. I mean, you don't have to change your homepage. You don't have to change the blurb on there,
Okay.
but content has to be fresh once in a while. You see what I'm saying? It has to be fresh. So
Oh.
Google recognizes that, thinks you're not just keeping it alone.
What if you were to put like a Twitter plugin on there? Would that suffice for like constant changes?
It's a good question. Now, Twitter plugin is kind of a JavaScript code. It's a feed, and it's not always picked up by searches. I mean, it can, but it's a very small line of code. I'm talking about more content in terms of pages of information. If I was to give you the best advice, it would be write an article or two every month. Post something that's content worthy. Because if you just write a sentence, that's not saying much. But if you write a paragraph or a page, then you're telling the world something a little more about yourself. So your website really should grow over time. So that's what.
What's the best way to like drip that information in there if you like have like 10 articles and everything? And what's the best way to do it without like having to self-publish every time? Because I know you can queue it up in WordPress. I know that part, right? And so then how do you, after that, is it like then recognized? Does it eventually crawl your page and then find it?
Okay, if you want Google to index your page, we have code we put on our websites, and then automatically it'll ping the search engines so that they know that you have a new content to re-index.
Got it.
And then it takes Google whatever time it takes them to index it. It does a little extra by pinging them and saying, hey, I have fresh content.
Yeah, I know, because right now I'm
That's
doing it all
the best thing you can do
manual.
is do that and then wait for them
Right.
to index it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Don't be afraid. You can ask questions
Can I
after
add
the review too.
something,
Oh,
please?
yes, please.
Okay. From the point of view, especially you guys that are entrepreneurs and trying to make the best of your business and expose it out there, you gotta think about a website in the same way you think about your business. You want your business to grow, you want your business to produce more money. And because of that, you wake up every single day and you put the dedication towards that. So your website gotta be hand in hand in that effort, and it gotta grow with the business. And everything that you do every single day, you gotta share it with that website. And that's where the content that's a question that I have always hear constantly. What content? What am I going to talk about myself? Or what am I going to talk about my florist shop? Okay. I'm like, I bet you have a lot of stuff to do. You did a wedding, you did a baptism, you did this. You gotta see exactly, and it's difficult to talk about yourself and about your business because that's who you are, and we all know how difficult that is. But if you really sit down and step back, you will see the ton of content you really have to talk about your businesses every single day.
Now, it's on that note too, sometimes you're just too busy, or you don't like to write, or you don't like to be on camera, which is fine. If you're good on front of camera, then you want to produce videos, put them on YouTube, and share them. That's just letting the world know who you are. If you want to write articles, that's great too. Some of us don't like to write, some of us are camera shy, and some of us don't have time. So that's when we step in and we can provide that for you. So just so you know, there's companies like us who will do the marketing and manage those kind of blogs, those kind of content. So it's also done in a way that's really optimized for search engines. The way you write an article matters. Not just writing an article, but how you formulate it and how you put the content in and certain keywords. So that's what we specialize in. If you're wondering if we're any good too, please Google SEO Las Vegas, or SEO services, or internet marketing, local marketing. You'll see we're at the top of the page. So we're not just saying we're okay, we're actually pretty good. And that just means that we're not going to be feeding you any BS. We want to make sure that you know that. We get good advice here. We do as much education as possible. Anything else, or?
You charge per hour.
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, it's more of a package base. We have some great packages because per hour, that's a little bit old school. When it comes to making websites, we can punch them out pretty quick. What costs $3,000, we can start you at $300.
Start you.
Because right now.
Well, it's $300 setup, and then it's $50 a month, and it stays that way. It doesn't change. E-commerce site is $100 a month, but we have. It's not just the web hosting. We supply the tech support, 1 hour edits. There's a whole lot for me to describe verbally, but if you guys ever want to sit down for consultation, more than happy to sit down and break down what it costs for you. And if you shop around, you'll find out that we're actually very fair priced.
They call it to put your business in a market, local market, something like this.
We're getting to that. Local marketing, yes, that's the next topic. I just want to make sure everyone's questions are answered about web design. And if you have any more questions later on, of course, you can ask me. So do you want to move on to internet marketing? Okay, so I think you guys probably understand a little bit about internet marketing, but just to quickly touch on it, the difference between internet marketing and traditional marketing is, well, traditional. Magazines, television, radio, billboard, magazines, it says it twice. What that is you're blasting your advertisements out there, and you're hoping someone happens to read it and happens to want your service at the same time. When the internet came along, it became much more focused. It became qualified people searching for you. So if I'm typing roses in Las Vegas, I want roses in Las Vegas. I don't want pizza. I'm not looking to get my car worked on. If I see you at the top of the page, there's a very good chance I need your services right there and there. So that became the most powerful method of really obtaining qualified business is through SEO, or search engine optimization. And that's something we specialize in, and it's fantastic. That's how our business grew. I started this company back in 2006. I did SEO since 2003 or 4, around that time. And it was just for a company that was a ticket brokerage. And I just happened to be working online, trying to bring people to them. They were looking to sell Oscar de la Hoya tickets, Bernard Hopkins boxing tickets. They would buy all these tickets, and they need to make sure they're at the top of the page so everyone would buy from them. So I had great experience in learning SEO, and I saw the value right then and there. And my company grew only because people would type in SEO in Las Vegas, and they would find me, and they would call me. But I realized that as much as I was growing individually, I wanted to start a company, I wanted to bring in more people and expand. And then I realized that phones weren't ringing enough. And I'm thinking, we're at the top of the page. Why aren't we getting more business? Well, really because a lot of people don't know what SEO is. I'm sure if you ask 9 of your friends, maybe 1 or 2 might know what SEO is, probably not. Internet marketing is still new. Even though it's been around for years, it's not really something that people are very understanding of. And it keeps changing and evolving every single day. So that's why we decided to have these seminars. This is really just to educate you guys and give you a good background. And if you guys like us, then I'm sure down the road we can do business. But it's simply developing relationships. Once you get to know us, you'll kind of see that we are who we are. We're not just trying to sell. We think that the more we go around, spread the good word, the more will come back to us. So anyways, internet marketing is fantastic because it's inbound. That means actively people are seeking you, they're trying to find you. If they're searching on Google, they're going to find you, and this is what they find. Oh, sorry, a little joke. Yellow pages are very useful still. If you have a kid and you can't get to the top of the table, you can definitely have them sit down. How about this? Who's used yellow pages recently?
Well, not recently.
Okay, well, how about the last?
Last 10 years,
Yeah.
my phone never stopped ringing.
Okay, well.
Never stopped, and I used to take it off the hook. I closed for 2 weeks, February 1st to the 15th, Valentine's Day, to stop the business. The last 3 years, well, I lost my yellow page ad, and they took out a new one now. Phone's right on.
Phone doesn't ring at all. That was because exactly.
Stop.
And we don't use it anymore. Why would we go through a big thick page of paper and just,
Yeah.
when we can Google on our smartphone? Exactly. So, just a little joke there, yellow pages. I once had an ad on there too. Nothing from it. You want to be found. People will search, and that's all there is to it. The next one here. Okay, I want to take a second here to see if, was it Luis? Would you like to talk about this a little bit? He's going to step up and explain the difference to what these are. These are called SERPs, Search Engine Result Pages.
So I'm going to just give a brief overview of what this is. Google nowadays looks like this. So you have 3 main areas. The newest one is actually local marketing, which is the middle. So if someone's looking for your rose business, for example, they're going to Google roses in Las Vegas, and depending on how close you are, you'll be showing up towards the top of the page. So that's a new way to get business by submitting to local directories, Google Maps, things like that. The second one is PPC, which is AdWords, you pay per click. So what happens with PPC is that you pay, every time someone searches and they happen to see your ad, they click on it. In this case, it's used cars. If they click on it and they go to your website, Google charges you for that. So for every click that you get, you're getting charged. So one of the downsides of pay-per-click is that you're always pumping money into it. On the other hand, you have SEO, which is organic searches. So if you're ranking at the top of the page, you're going to show up at the top of the page, get the most business out of it. And so the way we see SEO and organic search is that by putting your money into SEO, it's actually working for you better because you keep investing in it, and it's long term, and it's inbound marketing from that point. So if you come to a point one day, a year down the road, and your business is at the top of the page, and you want to scale back, then that's fine. You're still going to keep getting business from your organic searches while you're saving money by not paying for every click that Google's sending your way.
Very nice, Louise. Thank you very much. Good job. Just to touch on this a little bit more, one of the biggest differences, and I understand this is pay per click, so that when you stop spending money, this goes away. It's an expense every month. It's also the least looked at. Maybe less than 20% of this people click on the side and on top. Because you're aware that it's a commercial, it's an advertisement. You don't trust as much as you trust what Google says is number one choice. Now, places came in the scene a few years back and it became more and more popular. The difference between local and organic is that local is a verified listing. If you set up a listing with Google Places, it's going to send you a postcard and your address. It's going to verify that you actually live there or work there. So it's a verification process. It also localizes you. So if I do a search for oil change in Las Vegas and I'm down here, I'm going to pull up the results of the oil changes around here, not in North Las Vegas, not in Aliante, not in Summerlin. But the organic listings that I pull up, number one, it's going to be number one here or Summerlin or Henderson or wherever. This is the most valuable piece of real estate because it's not so much local based or geocentric. It's more based on it's organic. So this is the most valuable spot you can have. And a lot of times it's at the top of the page. You'll find sometimes the map listing shifts from time to time. Sometimes it's up here, sometimes in the middle of the page. Sometimes it's only 3 listings. At the most there's 7. So the difference is simply that. SEO gets you at the top of the page organically. That's the number one spot people click on the most. We do want to show up locally as well too. Any questions about the page right here?
Okay, let's go back to the market, local over there. How long it takes you to put me there?
On the local
Because
places?
it's a process, yeah. It's a
Yes,
process.
we do local marketing, and we're very inexpensive. It's $300 a month, or it's $300 setup, $100 a month. If in 2 months we haven't gotten you on locally listed on the first page, then we don't charge you anymore until we get you there. We have performance guarantees because we do the job right. If we can't get the job done, you're not going to get charged anymore. But it takes a time because of the fact that you have to go through the listings, get it verified, and you have to do these things right. It's not as simple as just filling the blank. If you do certain things wrong, it can sometimes drop you down a little bit. It is a bit of an art. That's why there's gigantic companies that just do this. We do this as well too. We understand it's not the biggest service. It's a useful service, but it's more important organically to be listed here because you're not fighting with all these locations. Anywhere I go in Las Vegas, I type in oil change, this is the guy. Anywhere I go. That's more important than just showing up because I'm within a few blocks. Do you understand the difference? So if I type in oil change here, it's going to give me listings around here more often than way up there. It's a distance thing.
But for certain types of businesses, wouldn't it be better if you focused on the localized?
How about you focus on both? And the thing is that you want to focus on both because they do influence each other. If you're going to have, okay, I made it very simple a long time ago. I was thinking about this, locals, SEO, which is more important, how do they affect each other? It's rational. It's just common sense to think that if Google is going to sit there and look at 2 websites and grade them, and one happens to have a local marketing presence as well, which has more weight? Okay, the more you do to show that you're an honest business, and that you're a real company, and that you do have these things, you verify these things, you have good links point to you, Google sees all those things and says, okay, you're better. So you don't want to just do one, you want to do both. If you do some SEO, that's going to help this come up top of the page. Even though this is more based upon location and reviews. Reviews is another thing too. Getting reviews published is an art. It's not that easy. Because with Google Places and with Yelp, the two main ones, they're the hardest ones to get reviews published on. Oh wait, she has a question?
Well, I think that there's a problem with Yelp. You can manipulate that. You can. Very. Somebody, they'll pay somebody $20 to go like write a review, and then all of a sudden the rating changes.
Well, here's the thing too with Yelp. If you just were to pay someone off the street to log in, register, and then leave a review for you, Yelp often sees that as being spam. Because a real review in their eyes is someone who goes on there, spends time on the site, revisits it a few times, leaves a few honest reviews. If you were to go on there and leave a review and walk away, often enough they take it down. I've had clients who honestly had real happy customers go on there just to leave a review, only to have them taken down.
But that doesn't function. That
That's
doesn't work.
just the way they do it.
That,
because
there's
they don't want.
a big glitch right there. I mean,
That's not really a glitch. It's just their business model. Yelp wants you to stay on there. They're just trying to keep you in there. They're not wanting you to come in and leave a review and leave. It's just their way of saying, hey, if you want to be part of the Yelp team, stay on board and contribute content, which means leave reviews on other people's sites as well. Write up your profile, be a person on
Can you
Yelp.
do that?
But
What's that?
Can you do that?
We know how it works, absolutely.
Can you do that for me?
Well, we can talk about getting reviews gathered and figure out how
No,
to
because
publish.
I have old people that they don't go to the computer. I can
Yeah.
give you their phone number or something instead, but
We can definitely show them how to do it right, yes. Because if you don't do it right, like I was explaining her,
Yeah.
it just doesn't get published. And it's unfair, unfortunately. And a lot of people out there have good businesses, they have good reviews, they get their customers to go up there, and like my one client who's a trainer, all his clients submitted reviews. Nothing got published. Unless you have some kind of history on Yelp. But if you didn't know that, now you do. There's a lot to it. So getting a listing done right in the first place to get you listed, and then having the right kind of reviews go into that, and then building SEO to your natural site, which is going to help your local listings. Those are all kind of little secrets that I'm giving you guys. That's important.
yeah, I just don't know things.
You have a Foursquare?
That's not you. Go on.
I'm sorry. Do you ever deal with Foursquare?
Foursquare is fun. You know, it's a social media app. You know, there's a lot of different apps out there, and I don't really see it as being more than what it was. It's kind of trendy. The benefits of being able to locate yourself has already been used on Facebook and other bigger platforms. So just like Groupon came out, they were very useful, and now everyone's taking over their version of Groupon. And there's more niche type of Groupons. I think it's a trend. It came in, it was popular, and some people say, oh, Foursquare is great, it's great, but and to me, practically, I don't really focus on it because I don't see ROI. Unless you can show me that case study shows, you know, this client did Foursquare, X amount of dollars, X amount of traffic, X amount of sales. I gotta see hard evidence. That's the only reason why I really preach search. I won't talk too much about social. I will bring social up a little bit, but to me, it's more for branding. There is some, you know, sales that can be generated through relationship building, but in terms of people searching, I mean, just let me know the last time you looked at banner ad on Facebook. It's got its hype, and it's got its, you know, people like to share and they like to network, but they really do like to read about their friends' updates. They like to keep in touch with their friends. They're not actively searching so much for business at the time. When you search for something, smartphone, Google it. You know, iPad, laptop, Google it. Or I can sit there and go through our friends' status updates and try to find, you know, who's the best doctor in town. It's just the way it is right now. They are trying to incorporate social more into search. I know Google's doing that, and so is Facebook, but Facebook does not have search. Google does. This is where they're in trouble. I see Facebook, honestly myself, 4 to 5 years having a real hard time. Because they don't own the search. Their partnerships with Yahoo kind of backfired because they're going to sue for all the patents. So there's no real loyalty out there. It's just more or less who's got the edge. And it's hard to beat the G monster. Google's gigantic. And we got a lot of things going on. But that's down the road. I blog about this, by the way. If you ever want to see me rant and rave, or try to put up little videos, all of us like to take turns producing videos and publishing them on our site. End of the seminar, you'll see the website, drsco.org. So feel free to check it out.
With that being said, what you mentioned about the big G and everything, do you also do places for the other search engines?
Absolutely.
Like the main three, right?
We do local marketing. We found out it's very effective to be listed on all the relevant directories. So that is art. There's a lot of companies that will say, we'll put you on 100 directories. There's nothing beyond 40 that's relevant. And then the 40, there's maybe 10 or 12 that are pretty decent. The rest of them are just a link. You know, But it's important to understand where to put your listings on, how to optimize them for keywords. That's where we come from with the SEO background. So there's companies that are charged same as us, if not more, and say they'll get you on a local map, but they'll just simply submit you in a spam fashion to a bunch of useless directories. You want to be on the relevant ones, you want to do it right. But yeah, the more directories, the better. Why not?
Yeah,
It's just if anything, it'll get back to you.
I'm sorry, I was actually maybe I didn't communicate properly. The other search engines, like they have their own form of places now, just like Bing has theirs, and I was just wondering if you also do that as part of your Google Places thing.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the 40 directories I was mentioning. There's Yelp as a directory. Merchant Circle, Kudzu, you know. I would say it's Google, Yelp, and then you got Bing and everything else after that.
Okay, we go back to local marketing. How many keywords can you put? How many
You can
different-
choose with Google, I believe it's 4 categories and then 1 keyword. Yeah, and how you choose the
Because
categories.
I'm a concierge residential services, so I have lots of services. It would be hard for me to put one keyword.
Yeah. Now the thing is that you can only do so much with local marketing. With a directory listing, you can only place certain things on there. You have to write it in a description that's limited. You can only use certain keywords. It can't be Spanish or Google will red flag it. So the influence comes from SEO. That's our specialty, and that's how we found that we can influence the local
For
market.
me, it's second step this year. But
Yeah.
somebody told me that it's important for you to be there and there.
Yes.
You promise to everybody they're gonna be in the first page. How are you gonna do that? Everybody wants to be in the
Yeah.
first page. So
Well, anytime you want to have a consultation, we'll sit down with you guys, we'll break down our guarantee. We have a performance guarantee. If we can't get you to where you need to be with the keywords in about 4 months, depending on the campaign you choose, either we cut your payments in half, or if we can't get any of the keywords at the top, it's free until we do. We will prove it. We won't keep charging you month after month after month. We won't lock you in for 1 year. 4-month minimum, because you have to have enough time to get SEO and see the results after it's been indexed for a while. But I mean, we've been having success, and so that's why we can guarantee that. So anytime you guys want free consultation over the phone or in person, we'll break down our guarantees, break down our prices. We're very open about it. Put our prices on the website. And local marketing, again, is very simple. $300 setup. It's $100 a month just to maintain it. That's all. It doesn't have to be more than that. There's people that charge $500 a month. You don't even pay that much.
okay, so it's 300 and 100 a month every month for how long?
100 each month. 100
For the
each.
rest of our lives. Oh, come on. And you put the CEO, and you put that, and you put that.
You can always stop and then see what happens. When you stop your SEO, the only thing that can happen is the competition can catch up. It's a race. If you think about this, there are other people just like you that want to be at the top of the page. The difference in the race is who's putting a little more time making sure they optimize their SEO, their local, their social. They're doing all the right things to give the best impression. Because SEO is about impressing Google. It's an impression. It's saying, hey Google, you really are obeying the rules. You're serious about our business. We're doing all the right things to convey our message. Because as a business, that's all your website is telling the world who you are, doing it in the proper fashion. Simple as that. But yeah, it's a race. And the SEO, you can simply figure that it's a race and you're a car, and what's your competition got under the hood? You don't know yet. But you do want to make sure you're prepared. And once you get off to the races and you get to the front of the pack, then you can say, hey, we're at the top of the page, number 1. Maybe now we can scale back a little bit, spend a little less money on gas and turbo, and see if we can maintain that spot. If that doesn't help out and you start losing your ranking, then you go back up. It's a management thing. We're not going to tell you, hey, 5,000 the rest of your life, thank you very much. We're going to tell you as a small business, you watch your budget, you spend just what you need. And I always believe that by giving the best, fair, honest advice, you'll always be happy, you'll be successful hopefully, and then as a group, you grow. We want referrals, we want you to keep on passing people to us. That's all. Yeah.
This is my last question about this page. What's been your company's experience in like the past month or so with getting the verifications done for Google Places? Because I know sometimes they take forever.
Yeah, they say in their statement 2 to 3 weeks after you submit. They can take 3 to 4 weeks sometimes. It just depends. Sometimes I've seen it happen in a week. They'll send you a postcard and you wait in the mail and hopefully you get it. And when you do verify it, the listing is live, but it doesn't really show in Google. Google is, you understand, giant. They are serving so much information. That is why you cannot call them. You cannot send them an email. You can only go to the forum and read about it and hope some moderator comes along and maybe gives a name and gives you some advice. But that's the trick. You know, they're way too large to have a support team. If one person answers the phone, it'd be over. So the disadvantage is that there's going to be issues. You're going to find times that your local listings will not show up. Sometimes another one will stay on. You try to get rid of that. Because some people have sometimes found that someone else had the listing before them. They want to remove it and change the information. That's a process. It's not easy, but that's what we have experience in. So instead of being frustrated and wasting lots of time, you can come to us and we can take care of it for you. That's what we do. Well, myself, I started the business. I got in the field in '96 and graduated from Santa Clara. And got into internet shortly after I was in Japan. In '98, I started working for an ISP, internet service provider. Guys, I went to college and we only had email. That was where I came from. The internet became a big boom right after college and I was self-taught. And from there, I worked for a lot of companies, including Microsoft and Intel, STEP Technology. It was great. I was a software engineer for quite a long time. This company was formed in 2006 from Media One, became Media One Pro in 2008. My stepbrother Oregon is one of the managing partners, another founder. And we're posting in Las Vegas. So my team is right here. These guys work on my house every day. We're looking to get funded and go downtown, but we're not trying to get a space and spend a lot of money and charge people money. We're always about being efficient. I started this on a shoestring budget. I had a hard time in 2008, just like a lot of people. My house went upside down. I sold my cars, gave the house back. It was a real rough time. And from that, I started this business. And when I could see this grow, it was an amazing feeling. And that's why my heart goes out to small businesses I started, because it's a tough time. But if you're smart, and you work hard, there is a chance. You know, you just have to really leverage the internet, because this is where, like you guys said, this is what evens the playing field. You know, with the camcorder and with the right internet marketing, you have a company. With the right website and the right service, and internet marketing especially, you can't do without this. You can be successful. And my family's Korean, they all work hard. They all grow businesses, so big reason right there. Anything else? This one? Oh, one more?
Yeah, this is my last question. Seriously, how do you find a listing, like a Google Places listing, that's been like sandboxed if you can't find it anymore?
How do you find out if it's been sandboxed?
Yeah, like how do you find it? Because it used to show up and then it doesn't. So how do you find it?
Well,
if it's not.
That's kind of a hard answer because I have to look into it. If you have access to the account, you can kind of see if there's any messages from Google telling you if there's something wrong with it. It doesn't pass the verification. But if it says it's live, then it's live. But sandbox doesn't mean it's not published.
But where is it alive?
Well, I have no idea how to look at the situation.
That's
It's
so
very
weird.
particular. You know. But again, you know, of course, come in for a consultation. More than happy to look at the situation. So find out for you.
You know, it's tough on you guys is keyword selection and search result. In what areas is optimization? 500,000 and 1.5 million? Is that the area you want to work in on a keyword?
It's about volume.
Yeah, like if I, you know, like marketing Las Vegas or dental Las Vegas, dentist Las Vegas, for example. I run that Las Vegas, I get 5 million results.
Talking about the results up here.
Right, exactly. So you got
that's not searches though. That's just results.
or the results,
Index.
but yeah,
The words,
and
you know.
searching a keyword and key phrases, tail stuff in your page, it's going to make a difference on that result. And I've been down that road before because I've had guys optimize and from like who knows what page. If we're not around the first 3 pages, it's not even worth it.
You're on the first page now.
First page, I know.
Yeah,
But to land on the
yeah.
first page, it's like, I don't know, eye doctor or whatever. To land on the first page in this city, you guys can guarantee in that area with like eye care, using that keyword, if you were to run that,
Yeah.
where is it that you tell the customer like, man, I don't think we're going to be able to do it because of the amount of results that are coming up under this keyword. We got to come up with some other ad hoc keyword to bring it up close.
Well, I'll tell you what. The guarantee only works because we have had that success. We average more success than not. In fact, we haven't had one yet that has been a challenge, which has been knock on wood. I've had one challenge I couldn't take on because they were looking for way too much of a budget. I was a small guy at the time, but the guy one guy found me from San Francisco. Just long story short, he found me because he was searching for search engine companies, and I came up with the list. He asked, can you help me out? I said, what do you do? He goes, I sell gold online. I said, ooh, gold, that's pretty valuable. Yes, it's virtual gold. It's not real. What? Yes, it's a World of Warcraft gold. I'm like, what is World of Warcraft? I didn't even know what that was. It's a game, I guess you play online. And I see friends of mine who just are just like skeletons now. They just cannot stop playing it. It's a video game, and what they do is, I guess, people, instead of having to play the game to earn gold, they'll buy it from other people. In this case, they buy it from Chinese people. The guys in China have these gold, we call them Chinese gold farmers. And these guys in China play the game forever and ever and ever, and then they sell their accounts online. And this company brokers it. And so for actual money, you buy gold, so that way you save time playing the games. You can buy new armor, new swords, new whatever it was. I was like amazed that this is $1 billion
think you
industry.
get very much into the game, huh?
Not me, but I started. I wouldn't be here. I mean, weathered away, little zombie in the corner. I don't play video games for a reason. I used to get into those things. But anyways, long story short again, this is the most competitive environment I ever saw in my life. It's all online. It's all SEO. And the biggest company, IGN, that's all they did was SEO. And they made billions and billions of dollars. I'm a small guy in Las Vegas. I can't help it. That's the only time I said no, there's no way I can do anything about it. But I appreciate that he appreciated me. He saw that I had skills. He just wanted to know what kind of company I had. I said I wasn't that big yet. But in terms of SEO and in terms of Las Vegas, in terms of just general United States and everything, the SEO is very much not utilized, correctly not utilized well. That's because there's a lot of amateur companies that claim they can do SEO. Any person can, with a laptop and internet connection, build some quick website, read a blog about SEO or some magazine, and say they're an SEO company. And that's what happens, and they fool people and give them the money, and they don't get any results. And people go, what's happening? Why is this working out for us? SEO is not just building links, it's not just keywords. I mean, there's probably 180 factors of code that I can bring up. There's so many little small things, and that's just the initial SEO. The off-page SEO, which means you go out there and you build content and links and social bookmarking and profiling and commenting and whatever. All that right there is an art because it's very hard to find out where these links come from. The competitive analysis, breaking down the competition, seeing where they get their SEO benefits from. You know, for me to compete, I was always a problem solver. I always tried to think outside the box. So it was never something that they just taught you. If they just taught you SEO, then everyone would be an SEO expert. It's really a problem that continually evolves, and as things change, you must adapt to the trends. And that's why we're up at work. We were very successful and we're very happy. We have the guarantee. We haven't had to worry about it yet. But if we can't get you to the top of the page, again, we're still trying again. We'll get you there. If we can't get you there, we'll keep on trying. Simple as that. You know, but yeah, knock on wood so far, we've been doing very well. That's the one thing we can do is we can give you case studies. If you were to go shop around for an SEO company, do this. Before they say anything, go, sir, let me see the proof in the last year. Not something 4 years ago. But don't show me something like Gene Repair in Henderson, Nevada. That's not a keyword that's popular. I mean, you can look at keywords, and the longer the keyword is, the more you say in it, the less it's searched. Like SEO Las Vegas. That's what people type when they're looking for us. SEO, and then where are they? I'm in Las Vegas. They don't type in the SEO company in Las Vegas, in Nevada, 89704. They don't type all that. Okay? So the SEO company tells you, oh, we can get you to the top of the page, and they give you this long example. That's not being competitive. That's nothing. Look for case studies, and then compare and find out what the prices are like. Don't get ripped off. We're $200 a keyword per month. People start off at $2,000, $3,000 a month. You know? We're not trying to rip people off. We're trying to help small businesses. So whatever your budget is, we'll be honest with you and realistic and say this is what you can expect. We'll never turn anyone down. It's just not fair. I think everyone should be able to compete. So if you only have a few $100, we'll tell you local marketing. If you have $500, we'll tell you local marketing plus SEO. You know, but whatever your budget is, just try to make sure that we spend it wisely, not wasting on too much social and Twitter and Pinterest and blog contents. You know, there's lots of ways you can spend your money. Let's make sure you spend it wisely. That's it. Yes. Okay, let's go back. We're not going to go back, so I go forward. Thank you, Ruth. The little cute kid, keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Oh, you're going backward, aren't you?
You told me back.
I'm sorry, forward. Okay, scams. All right, here we go. Scams, watch out for. So we'll end the night with just some little warnings, tidbits, so you don't get fooled by people out there that do take advantage of naive businesses. I mean, you're not born with knowledge of internet marketing, and there's a lot of people that come over and just try quick talking and sales. You gotta be careful of that. Next one. Okay, so phone solicitation. Who's got a phone call by internet marketing company?
Every day.
Every single day.
But I say Google, and then I found out Google will never call you.
Google will never
Never
call
call
you.
you.
If they ever say they're part of Google, hang up the phone.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, these are telemarketers that are massively in a call center, just calling out random numbers, boom, 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 boom. They'll tell you the spiel saying we're partnered up and we have a first page spot just reserved just for you, as though it's real estate that you can rent. Yeah. And if they're good at what they do, you would search and find them. If they were an SEO company, maybe you would be able to see them on the first page. They will be calling you, trying to fool you that way.
Google will call you. They called my friend twice just to verify part of the listing. And then when my friend wasn't, because he didn't believe that they would call, and the listing disappeared like a week or so later. So it depends. He's a mechanic, and like he.
One time Google would call me was for a boost ad.
Yeah,
and
they
Google
did. They
once in a
called.
while would do that because they're trying to new technology. And that technology was Google Boost, which basically takes your Google Place listing, and you have your little yellow flag, or give you a blue flag to see if that helps you out. You can say like a little boost. You know, it's kind of like ridiculous, but they do that. You might get that rare call once in a while about Google Boost if you have a Google Places account. That's it. I'm not going to sit there and tell you I got a first page, first spot listing. There's no partners out there. Well, that's generally that with phone calls. And you might get calls from India saying, "Hey, we'll give you a website for $200 and it's gonna be amazing, and take a chance." But you get what you pay for. The only thing is that you can also spend a lot. Yeah, you can definitely get some poor quality websites. And there's a lot of money. There's people spending a lot of money getting the same thing as well too. Shop around. But we made our website packages very, very affordable. We wanted people to be able to get off the ground now, not wait till they have $2,000 saved up, get a website, and then not be happy with it and be out $2,000. We made it very, very affordable because we feel like, let's get your website done. Let's put your money where it really matters in marketing. Because who cares how nice your website is if no one goes there? We'll make your website look very nice, but without spending that kind of money. Your budget should go to bringing in business, bar none. Once you're making that kind of money, then you can do whatever you want. Add some flashy video or whatever you want. Next one. Hey, Matt, you got a little thing about this?
Yeah,
This is Matt Sheridan one.
just real quick, companies will call you or email you and let you know that they can give you 500,000 links or 100,000 links to your website. And recently from the new Google update, it no longer makes any sense to do that. They're really only caring about the quality of your links. So if you have a good company linking to you, it's much better than having 500,000 companies that don't mean anything linking to your website.
All right. Let's go. So quality. The update he's talking about is the Panda update. I think it's 3.3 now. And the updates happen every so often, and they're to make sure that you're not spamming, getting link farms to throw tons of links to your website. Google doesn't want that. They want authoritative websites that matter pointing to you. Because that's what it's all about. It's websites that you can trust, pointing to you, not some ridiculous amount of spam farms. Anyways, next one.
Okay, sorry, the link farm, so we can really call and want to put links on your website. Does that mean we're paid?
No. This is when you pay them to build tons of links. Like I'll sell you 20,000 links to point to your site for like $50 or $100. And they think that, 20,000 links, that's a lot of links. I'll get to the top of the page this year. Yeah, these are all just spam farms, which are basically websites that do nothing but have tons of links going to different places. And that was a few years ago that might have had influence, but that hasn't had influence for a long time. Google got real serious about it and started penalizing them, bringing it down a little bit. We saw these links coming in at the same time from nowhere. They're trying to be smart. That's all there is to it. They're trying to be like a human and figure things out. You got to think Google's a human judging people by criteria. You don't want to get caught trying to cheat them. Mail solicitation, well, next one, I guess we can skip this one. It's not really that important. But this is a Yellow Page wannabe. It's called Yellow Pages United. I don't know if you've ever seen this in the mail.
Oh, I got it.
You got one of these where they say you're verifying listing. It's not a bill. See, it says it's not a bill.
Yeah, turn the page.
Turn the page. Let's go ahead to the next one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you really can't see that small print. Turn it again.
Oh, I didn't see.
Okay, well, you can't see that there, but that little small print, it says $264 per year. They would charge you to be listed on their Baloney Yellow Pages wannabe site. That's in the mail. These kind of little scam alerts, we always post on our website. So if you ever come across a kind of a scam type of thing, please email us. We're like a consumer advocate, a watchdog. We love to share that information. I hate these kind of companies. I hate them. And I see them in the mail, and I wonder how they get away with this. So let's protect yourselves and everyone else. Spread the word. If you come to our site and you see these things, you might learn ahead of time not to, to fall victim. So that's the one, drsco.org. I'm Dr. SEO. That's me. And this is my medical team. We believe we're helping people by healing them, by giving them, empowering them with education, knowledge. Consumer advocate, educator, internet marketing, that's us. Next one. I think we had Q&A, but any last Q&As here before everyone wants to go home and sleep? Watch TV?
How do you get a negative off your website?
How do you get a negative off? Right.
There's a review, and I have only good reviews. And there's one has the name wrong, first name
Competition. I know.
Somebody put it on properly, but they say you could. I wrote 4 or 5 times to Google.
Yeah.
There's no way somebody said I ripped them off. I was supposed to charge them $50. I charged them $100 on their credit card. They're still fighting the credit card company. I do 99.9% phone sales. You just deny the charge. There's no sense of. There's no way to fight.
Remove
them.
them.
You can't.
Nothing you can do. What you can do is get other ones to override them. So get them pushed down to the next page.
Well, that's what it is, because I have only good reviews, except
Yeah.
that one, and then when people call me and say, you have the best reviews in Vegas,
Yeah.
I said, there's a bad one. She says, yeah, that must be a phony, because I read that one.
Yeah, it's
But they
unfortunate,
still
but
call.
if you have a lot of great reviews,
Yeah, so
Sometimes your competitors will do that.
yeah, and that's just too bad. They're focusing on trying to hurt you when you're blowing yourself up.
But
So
they
let
have
them
the
do
wrong
what they
name,
can.
they spoke with somebody by different,
Yeah.
and you, without a signature, you don't have to
I
fight.
have a great point to make that you said that. Here's something you guys should really know about. Something we do is we call it the hero strategy. We produce videos inexpensively, but very, very effectively. If you go to our website, you'll see one of those videos. I don't know, have you been to our website anymore? Okay, well definitely when you get to back to your homes, please visit our website and watch the video that plays right away. That video has been very powerful because it's called the hero strategy. We have 3 testimonials from 3 customers. That's it. We don't go on there and say, we're Medium Pro, we're design, we're the best. Nothing like that. We let the customers do the talking. So when you have a video, which is very powerful, because anyone can put words on the screen or a picture on the screen, when you have a customer actually talking, that's reality right there. So what we have is 3 customers giving testimonials. One saying, thank you, Medium Pro, we $250,000 saved because of you. Another one saying, my business is alive, we're #1 on all 3, PPC, local, and SEO. The last one saying you built a website in 24 hours, which took the last guy almost 3 months or whatever it is. So those are things that work. So maybe you have bad review on your Google page. When they go to your site, which is where they go next, because that's the next thing they do. That's when you really should have those video testimonials. I mean, if you don't have video, at least have testimonials. Have something there that shows some validity. But if we promote videos, we also produce them very inexpensively. They're very effective. But that one video has helped us tremendously. Because now people know that we're for real. Again, you're a great guy, you do a great job, you have great service. Unless someone's vouching for you, how do I know? Kind of still wondering about you a little bit. So why not get that out of the way and have some people stand up and say, hey, like these guys, they did a great job, thank you very much. So, Nick? Just, it's like, oh man, scalps.
Can you go over quickly, over the part you said about your keeping your web page, because
Oh, sure. We build websites on a content management system, aka WordPress. It's a great platform. We modify it so the website is fantastic. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's mobile compatible, which means on anyone's phone, it's going to be easy to read. So it's easy to scroll and see the buttons. You don't have to squeeze and zoom and all that stuff. That's nonsense. You really do. I think one of you guys mentioned mobile. And mobile is absolutely the way you need to think about everything. It's less desktop. It's more iPad and more smartphone. So having your phone able to see a website, easily get you where you want to go, it's critical. You want to press a button and get navigation. You want to press a button and get a phone call. Press a button and get email. Not search and try to find it. People skip over that stuff. Websites that we build, mobile compatible, with social media enabled, easy to share information, press a button, automatically tweets it. If I like a page on my website, I can Facebook it in 2 seconds. We want to have those features no matter what. That's a smart way of building a website. We have that. You can log in and you can log in. You can make changes anytime you want. You can add photos with the click of a button. It's as easy as changing your Facebook page.
And the importance of doing that is because you want to, like.
Well, one, you don't have to call us in the middle of the night and worry about paying this money to do it for you. That's expensive. You do it yourself, it's free. And it's 24/7, whenever you want.
said it would be important to keep your website
For marketing
fresh.
purposes, yes. Yes, you want to continually add some fresh content that's relevant. Just like if you're a doctor and you say, I'm a doctor and I'm a dermatologist, and you have one paragraph that talks about the skin. What does that say about you? Is that how much you really know? Or do you know a whole lot about the different skin diseases and the treatments and the technology? The more you describe who you are and what you do, like Ruth said, the better people will take you seriously, and Google will index you and consider you more of an authority. So that's blog writing, art. As much as you do write, I have guys write about themselves. I have a personal trainer friend, I'll refer to him again. He just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote about personal training. But the thing is that he tried to do what he thought he was doing right, mentioning the keywords over and over in his blogs. There is a way of doing it incorrectly, and Google will pick that up too. So when you make it too obvious, Google goes, oh, okay, Mr. Keyword Crazy, let's just go ahead and knock it down a little bit. Because they're not letting people go around and spam. They don't want an article that just says, hi, we're a train in Las Vegas, we train Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, you train, we love to train Las Vegas. They're not trying to get repetitive info, they're trying to get a real, actual, unique quality written article. So writing that is an art, and that's something we do. It doesn't influence the search engines. We found a way to write it, and we do it very well, we do it also very expensively too. We're basically a one-stop shop, so when you find out what you guys want to do, we'll teach you how to do it yourself, and you'll find out that that's fine for some people. For a lot of people, they want to focus on the business and let the experts do it for a good price do it. I could learn how to fix a car. I will never do it. You give me tools, I don't have time. I'd rather have the best person do it who doesn't rip me off.